The office was dead silent, except for the frantic clicking of a mouse. Leo stared at his digital dashboard, his heart hammering against his ribs. The marketing campaign he had spent 3 months launching was failing completely. Ad costs were skyrocketing, conversions were at zero, and his client's budget was evaporating by the hour. To make matters worse, his inbox flashed with an aggressive email from the director. "We need a complete pivot by tomorrow morning, or we are losing this account." Leo felt a wave of icy panic wash over him. His mind raced in a dozen different directions. Should he pull all the ads? Should he change the target audience? Should he rewrite the entire copy? The sheer volume of options felt like a tidal wave crashing over his head. He was paralyzed, drowning in data, and suffocating under the pressure of trying to fix everything all at once. "You are fighting the water, Leo. That is why you are sinking." Leo gasped slightly, turning around. His grandfather, Arthur, a retired hydraulic engineer who had spent 40 years managing massive river dams, was standing in the doorway holding 2 cups of tea. He walked in, set a cup on the desk, and looked calmly at the chaotic spreadsheets on the screen. "When I was a young engineer," Arthur said, his voice slow and steady, "a massive seasonal storm hit our district. The river rose 10 feet in a single night. The water broke through the secondary barriers and started flooding the valley. I panicked. I ordered my crew to throw everything we had, sandbags, dirt, concrete, directly into the main path of the roaring water to try and stop it all at once." Leo looked up, his attention completely caught. "Did it work?" "It almost killed us," Arthur said quietly, sitting down. "The sheer force of the unrestricted flood simply swept our barriers away and grew wider. That was when the chief engineer grabbed me by the shoulder and told me the ancient story of you the Great." Leo frowned. "Who?" "Thousands of years ago, ancient China was devastated by catastrophic floods," Arthur explained. "The Yellow River burst its banks, destroying crops, burying villages, and plunging the entire civilization in terror. For 9 years, a man named Gun tried to stop the floods. He built massive dikes, high walls, and heavy dams to block the floods, but the water always found a way through, bursting the walls and causing even greater destruction. Gun failed because he tried to force the ocean into a box." Arthur took a sip of his tea. "Then, Gun's son, Yu, took over the task. But Yu didn't build walls. He didn't try to fight the flood with brute force. Instead, he spent years studying the flow of the water. He realized that you cannot defeat a chaotic force by standing directly in its path. So Yu changed the strategy completely. He gathered the people and began digging channels, canals, and ditches. Instead of blocking the water, he guided it. He created specific paths for the chaotic flood to flow harmlessly out into the ocean." Arthur tapped Leo's desk. "The legend says it took 13 years, but you succeeded. He didn't destroy the river. He mastered its flow. He turned a destructive disaster into a source of irrigation that nourished the farmland for generations." "But my problems are happening right now," Leo said, his voice trembling. "I have 100 different things breaking at the exact same time. How do I build a channel for this?" "By stopping the blockades," Arthur answered firmly. "Right now your mind is trying to stop the entire flood. You are trying to fix the budget, the copy, the targeting, and the client's anger all in 1 second. That is building a wall of sandbags. You need to pick one single channel where the pressure is highest and direct your energy entirely into digging that path." The next morning, Leo arrived at his desk before anyone else. The failing campaign was still there. The angry emails were still waiting. But instead of letting the chaos scatter his attention, he chose to mimic you the Great. He closed his email client. He closed his internal chat apps. He looked at the mountain of problems and identified the single most critical blockage. The ad copy wasn't matching the landing page. He didn't try to rewrite the whole campaign. He didn't check the real-time budget. For 2 completely uninterrupted hours, he focused exclusively on rewriting 3 headlines to make them crystal clear and direct. He dug that single channel with absolute focus, letting the rest of the chaos swirl around him without touching it. Once that channel was dug, he opened the next one. He adjusted the targeting parameters to focus only on his highest converting demographic, cutting out all the waste ad spend. He treated each problem not as a terrifying wave to be stopped, but as a specific stream of data to be redirected. He stopped reacting to the noise. He became completely systematic. By late afternoon, the results of his targeted adjustments began to flow through the system. The chaotic surge of wasted budget stopped. The conversion chart, which had been flatlined for weeks, showed a sharp, decisive spike upward. The cost per acquisition plummeted by 60%.
2 days later, Leo presented the new data to the director. The spreadsheet didn't show a frantic patch job. It showed a beautifully optimized, highly efficient funnel. The director stared at the chart in silence for a moment, then looked up at Leo with immense respect. This is incredible recovery work, Leo. You didn't just save the account, you actually improved our baseline performance. That evening, Leo sat on his porch, watching the quiet sunset. His grandfather walked out and sat beside him, handing him a fresh cup of tea. Leo smiled, his mind completely free of the suffocating weight that had paralyzed him just days before. The river didn't break me, Leo said softly. Because you stopped fighting the river, Arthur replied with a proud smile. You gave it a direction. The chaos of life will always bring seasons when everything seems to overflow at once. Deadlines, bills, setbacks, and pressures. But drowning is a choice. When you stop panicking at the size of the flood and instead choose to master the flow of your immediate actions, the chaos loses its power. You don't get swept away by the storm. You use its energy to carve your own path to victory.